Blessings. Namaste. My name is Jean Carlo-Wagner, and I'm a 9-year colorectal cancer survivor. After cancer, I became a yoga teacher to help other patients and cancer survivors. This video is an introduction to teaching cancer survivors, and it will be followed with a series of coursework that I've developed, a 45-hour training. The most important question is, why are you interested in teaching cancer survivors? And why should you listen to me? First, I'm the developer and creator of a yoga CD called Yoga for Cancer Survivors. And I distributed over 4,000 of these CDs free. They were used at Cedars-Sinai, across the world. They've been taken to many, many places, and now they're free on SoundCloud. There's also a Spanish version that just came out last week that's free on SoundCloud. That information will be at the end of this video. And here's the 45-hour training that I've developed. It goes over what to do to design a yoga class and all the components. And the most important thing, of course, is how to keep your students safe. And we'll talk more about that in a moment. I wanted to say about my training, I was looking for training in cancer survivorship, and 8 years ago when I started there really was nothing. So I took a class called Silver Age Yoga Training, which is for seniors. And cancer survivors have many of the similar issues that aging population has. They may have trouble with their joints, glands, balance, and have had surgeries and other similar issues. So I took that training. I also took a training called Meditation and Movement, which to me addresses the emotional and psychological needs of a cancer patient. And then I went on to take 500-hour training in Atma Yoga, which is a deep, more psychological view of cancer, and deeply into meditation. So I've continued my training, of course, and wanted to develop this particular training because I didn't see out there the things that I'm doing specifically. There is a lot of yoga for cancer survivors, but it assumes a basically healthy population that got cancer and now wants to return to health. Although I had been a very active person before cancer, I found myself completely and totally devastated from the effects of chemotherapy and really didn't know where to begin. And so I worked at home using breath work, range of motion, gentle stretching, and that's how I developed my program. I also have a master's degree in education and taught special education for 28 years. So that has an effect on the way I approach my work, and it benefits you because I'm going to make it really easy how to be successful and break it down into achievable and practical information. So how do we keep patients safe? How do we keep cancer survivors safe? Of course, when somebody enters into the program, you may have a whole range of patients and survivors, people that are just newly diagnosed, to people that are in the middle of treatment, and people that have finished treatment and are recovering from the effects of their treatment. There are also 60% of survivors go on to develop another cancer, or their cancer is unresolved. So there's quite a range of what we mean by survivorship. The best way to keep people safe is to work on breath work. No retention of breath, no holding of breath, and no severe and sharp inhalations or exhalations. These are 3 critical things for you to know as a yoga teacher. There are many reasons, and I will get into that more deeply in other trainings, but this is about how to go in and keep somebody safe. So you want to teach basic diaphragmatic breathing. Inhalation, slow and easy, into the abdomen. And then slow and easy into the diaphragm. And slow and easy into the heart space. If a person is having difficulty inhaling in and out of their nostrils, then you might ask them to inhale through their nose and exhale through gently parted lips. Or you can inhale and exhale through gently parted lips, which is actually easier than inhaling and exhaling through the nose. It's not preferred. There are other reasons, but the patient needs to know their options, and they need to follow their body. And that's the other main key to keeping a cancer survivor safe. The very foundation of your training is when a person enters, maybe you don't have time to take their complete background, but we can keep the entire room safe by instructing them to stay within this long, slow breath that they work on. That's the most important piece of yoga. We know that as teachers. It's intuitive as human beings. If your breath is moving gently, then you're probably moving within the integrity of your body. In other words, your wellness level. So if a person begins to feel like they're holding their breath, it's become tight, or they're panting, or they've stopped breathing, they're holding their breath, they have gone too far in their practice. We need to go over those points over and over again. If you're tight in your breath, if your breath has become panted, or if you're holding your breath, these are keys that you've gone too far, and you need to back down and maybe just go into total rest. So we can instruct this, first instructing how to develop the low, slow, deep breath. The use of music, of setting, of tone of voice, and setting your intention in the very beginning of class to say, this class is for you to be safe and explore your well-being, your level of health, and it's for you to find your inner healer. So there is none of us that can heal someone else, and healing is not cure. Healing is a state of mind and a state of heart. We may leave this earth with very disabled bodies, but we don't have to leave unhealed. So that is a whole area of lecture that is developed later on. But just coming back to setting those intentions in the very beginning of class. So how does that look when I'm teaching? We need to know as teachers how to break down yoga postures into their smallest component parts. This is a whole other area of lecture. But in the beginning, we can start with showing a posture or a movement, and the instruction would be, inhale and lift your left arm, listening inside for the very first place where you may feel a sense of movement or tightness, and then exhaling back to the beginning. So that the instruction is assisting a patient and a survivor to find their own range of motion through their own body sense. Cancer can really disconnect us from our bodies. Everything is new. For me, having 12 inches of intestine taken out and being opened right down the middle of my body, right down and over the pubic bone, meant that my abdominal muscles were very compromised. So breathing in and of itself was a big effort. So we need to know that building breathing stamina, using their own body sense and teaching the very small components in a very slow manner of postures, so that you can break down a posture into its smallest parts and instruct in such a way that people feel comfortable stopping when their body tells them you've gone far enough. So I hope with these tips and this information that you will begin to understand what it takes to teach survivors, and that the reason you're interested and the compassion that you have to bring and serve others is that your appetite is whetted by this video, and that you will continue to do some trainings. I will list several places that you can go and read some good academic studies that have been done on breathing, yoga for cancer survivors, as well as some articles in Cure Today where I was interviewed women in cancer. So thank you so much. Many, many blessings. Thank you. Namaste. 1. Breathing. Slow and easy diaphragmatic breathing. Low abdomen, mid-rib cage, heart. Expelling air, heart, mid-rib cage, diaphragm. No pushing, forcing, or holding the breath. Pushing, no. Holding, no. Or forceful inhales or exhales, no. So we just don't teach that. The other thing is, as a yoga teacher, you want to rehearse the postures so you can break the yoga postures or asanas down to their smallest components, students safely. So even a simple move like hands over head, for somebody who's had an incision for breast cancer, this range of motion is not going to come back immediately. So you want to teach inhaling. When we come to that very first place of tightness, we stop. So we teach the student, okay, they're going to stop of this breath. So you're breaking down the postures, and that's that third key, is you are training your students to keep themselves safe by listening to their breath. So if they find that they're pushing, holding, forcefully inhaling or exhaling, or they're rapidly breathing, but in this, to keep our patients and survivors safe, these 3 keys will get you on track so that you feel confident and you know that you'll go in and you're not going to hurt anyone. You're going to instruct them on how to go into their own bodies and heal with their own integrity through breath work. Okay, catch you later.